In today's tutorial, let's do the baby waves blanket together. Look at this beauty, and we're going to learn how to do that next. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to learn how to make this baby waves afghan. We haven't done a pattern like this before in our archives, and today we're going to work on this. So if you're doing it exactly as per the pattern, you can use Caron Simply Soft Baby or Caron Simply Soft Yarn, and you can have all the information here. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute with Bernat Softy Baby Chunky, and I'm going to increase my hook, to size L 8mm in order to demonstrate this pattern. This is all this is, and I'm going to show you how to be able to change the size. So if you want a bigger size than this or even smaller or even a scarf size, I'm going to be telling you how to do that next. So here's my swatch sample, and I figured out that there are 17 chains in order to keep a repeat pattern. So if I fold it like this, there's 17 chains that create one of these, and then as long as you keep going in groups of 17, you will continue to get bigger and bigger. So if you want to change the size on this particular project, 17 is your magic number, and at the end of your row you have to add 3 extra chains in order to keep it in balance. And so this is a really kind of an easy concept. Now you see it sparkling here in the video. Well, hopefully you do. This is Caron Simply Soft Party, and it looks amazing even on the back side. So it's one of those afghans where you don't mind if it can turn upside down on a sofa, or if the child's dragging it around. So as I promised, I am substituting the yarn today. Let's talk a little bit more about that, and let's get started. So here's the baby softy chunky line. Look how nice and chunky it is, and I'm going to increase to an L size 8mm. How did I know that? Well, if you look at the ball band, it has the instructions of what the recommendations are, and it has an 8mm size L crochet hook, so I'm going to use that today. So I'm going to begin to start you, and I'm going to show you how to do a small swatch, and then the information I'm about to show you, you can make it into any size including king size. All completely up to you as long as you know what to do in order to change the size, and we'll cover that right now. And let's grab a hook and start. When we're starting today's project, you have to keep in mind that the project goes up and down, and the reason why I'm telling you that is that chaining of, for example, 100 across is different than chaining 100 in a wave such as this. It takes more of these chains to do the up and down motion than it takes to do a flat line across. So what you think of 100 chains lying flat down on a surface versus going in an up and down motion, it'll be slightly different. So when you do the waves, the chains automatically start collapsing in on itself like this to compensate for doing the wave motion. So when you're doing that first chain, just keep in mind that when you get it done to the length that you think you need, just be aware that it will shrink because of the wave motion. So without further ado, let's grab our yarn and let's grab our hook and let's get started. So let's create a slip knot, and I'm just going to do that nice here, and I'm going to slip in my size L 8mm crochet hook today. So as I promised you, the answer is 17. So we have to always do in groups of 17. If you're following the pattern as per the instructions, you have to chain 105. Just make sure that if you are following that pattern, you are following the same size of yarn or the same equivalent type of yarn in order for that 105. So without further ado, this never counts as one, and let's chain 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So this is one wave. So the distance and the cross would be different because once it gets that wave, see, it'll be slightly smaller, so it'll be collapsed because of the wave. So I want you to chain in groups of 17. If you're customizing, if you're following the pattern, it is 105. So I'm going to do another thing of 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So if you're customizing it and not following the pattern, at the very end of this chain you have to add in 3 extra chains in order to stay the balance. So 1, 2, and 3. So that would be your first chain, just like this. So this sample is not going to be as wide as you see it on the screen. It'll be slightly smaller because of the waves. Let's move on to row number 1. So in row number 1 we're going to be starting off, and we have a half of a circle that's on the sides here, and then we have full circles in the middle, or full semicircles, and then the other side we have a half. So there always starts off the same way, but the difference will be that we're starting on the chain at this time. But once we get into row number 2 and 3, it's just a repeat pattern of the whole thing going back and forth. So you just got to keep in mind that when we start, it's always going to be a half semicircle, and then there will be a full semicircle then in the middles. So let's get started. So let's begin. We're going to count back to the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and what we want to do is that we want to put a double crochet into that chain. So turn that chain upside down so that you get, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so you get the back hump of the chain. Once you do that, the rest of the chain will stay turned upside down. This counts as 2 double crochets into 1 stitch in this particular instruction. The next 2 chains are each going to have 2 double crochets each. Okay, so we're gonna put 2 double crochets into the first one, and then 2 into the next. Okay, so that will be your first half semicircle, okay, on the side there. Okay, so just think about it looking like this, and it's going to start dipping down like that. Let's move along to the next part. So in the next part here, we're going to go through the chain, and always what's gonna happen is that you are going to have 1 skipped chain, and then a double crochet, and then a skipped chain, double crochet. So what you want to look at is that you're going to have 5 double crochets here that stand by themselves, but there's no extra chains here at the top, but we're just skipping over in the bottom. So it doesn't matter if it's a chain, it's the same way that it is up here, so it keeps it nice and easy to be able to follow this pattern. So you're just looking for that. So let's do that next on this sample. So coming back down to the chain, we want to skip the next chain available to you and double crochet into the next one after that. Then we want to just skip the next chain and double crochet into the next one after that. So you're continuing to do this until you get 5 of those double crochets that stand by themselves. Okay, so that was another one. Skip the next chain and double crochet into the next. Skip the next chain and double crochet into the next. Okay, so you can see that this is grouped together, and then you have 4 of them that are standing by themselves, so we need another one. So skip the next chain and go to the next one after that. So now you have your 5 double crochets that stand by themselves. Do you see that? And now we're ready to go for the top. So we skip the next chain, and in the next 6 chains we are going to put 2 double crochets in each. So this will be a full semicircle going in there. So we skipped the next chain, and so there was 2 into the next one, and then the next chain there's 2 into that one. So we're not skipping chains at this particular point as we go up over top of a hump in the wave. So that was 2 of the 6 done. Let's do another one. So this is the middle one of the 6. So this would be what a half would look like on the edge. So let me retry that one. Okay, so then the next one is going to be 2 as well. So you want 6 groups of 2. So what I kinda just do is I do a whack of it and then I check instead of having to constantly count as they go. And I think I have one more, but I'm just gonna do it without checking first. I'm gonna go on instinct, because if you know how to check, it just makes it a lot quicker. So what I'm looking for here is that the top here will have 6 groups of 2. Okay, so you can see here this was the gapping space. So here's 1 group of 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now we're gonna go down again, and so when we go down we skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next one after that, and we do that for a total of 5 times again. So skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next one after that. Okay, skip the next stitch. Starting is always harder. I was gonna say something else. But yeah, it's always harder to start, but once you get this pattern into your brain it actually works out pretty good. Okay, so there's 4 of them that are standing by themselves. I want a total of 5. So I want to give you those clues on what to visually look for to make it a lot easier for yourself. So now I have the 5 that are standing alone in the bottom, and now we're gonna go up and do a half semicircle like you did before. So you skip the next stitch, and the final 3 on your chain, if you're getting when you get to that other side, will all just be 2 double crochets into each one of the 3. Okay, and that's a half semicircle for your final edge. So if you're obviously your chain's bigger, then you're just gonna keep going up and down like I showed you, and then on the end you'll just do a semicircle like this with just 3 double crochets in each. So now you'll notice that you'll have your up and down motion is about to start, and it's starting, and now we're going to move up to row number 2. Let's turn our work and go for row number 2. So every other row, and this is what I like about this pattern, is a single crochet row. There's no adding or subtracting, it's just 1 stitch in each. So you chain 1, and then first one in, you're going to single crochet into that one and into all of the single stitches across. So even though it's in a wave formation, you are still just gonna maintain that it's just 1 single crochet into each stitch going all the way across. So basically every other row you just have to think about the up and down, and then this row is the other one, and we just have to single crochet all the way across. And this is what makes this pattern actually quite pretty. So let's just do that, and I'll see you at the end of this row. When you're coming up all the way to the end, do not forget to do into that turning chain in here, because you will be missing a stitch. So make sure you do go into the top of the turning chain. So don't go into a gap, just go into the turning chain. And so now you've just single crocheted yourself going all the way back across, so you can really start seeing the wave. Let's cover row number 3, and row number 3 is exactly what we did with the chain, but the only difference is rewritten because it's no longer a chain. So let's just turn our work and go for row number 3, and this will be the repeat pattern. So this single crochet is every other one, and this next row is the one in between. So for row number 3, it's identical to what we already know down here, but we just need to do it up here. So we're gonna start off in chaining a 3, which counts as a double crochet, and in the first stitch right underneath it we're gonna put another double crochet in there. So that makes it 2 double crochets on the final. So the next 2, just like we did before, is 2 double crochets. So this is going to be the semicircle that is on the top of the edge. Okay, so there'll be 2 of those in a row. So when you look at it here with the first one and then these 2, there is 3 of the 6 that are normally on the top of a wave just like this. So now we're going to dip down, and we're going to start doing exactly what we did before. So we're gonna skip the next chain and double crochet into the next one, and we're gonna do a total of that of 5 times. So skip next chain, double crochet in the next. So this is creating that wave to continue. Skip the next stitch, double crochet into the next. So I'm visually looking for the 5 that stand by themselves. Okay, so you keep doing that, you keep skipping and double crocheting. Okay, so there is the 5 that stand by themselves. You see it? Now we're gonna start going up over the hump, or up over the wave. So we skip the next stitch, and the next 6 will each be 2 double crochets in there. So 1 and 2, that was 1 of 6. Okay, 1 and 2, that's 2 of 6. 1 and 2, this is the halfway point. This is 3 of 6. Do you see that? It's kind of at the halfway of the wave. And let's continue. 1 and 2, this is 4 of 6. Okay, 1 and 2, this is 5 of 6, and then the next one is 1 and 2. So that's 6 of 6, just like there. Okay, so do you see how everything's kind of shifting? So what you're going to notice here is that these groups of 6 look slightly more into here, but what we're doing here is that in the bottom we're subtracting out stitches by doing this condensing, but here we add more stitches, therefore it keeps it in balance. So let's go down the hill again. So you know how to do this already, but I will show you again. So we skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next. How many times do we want to do that? If you said 5, go grab yourself a cookie. That's the right answer. And if you didn't say 5, keep on hooking. So just continue along, skipping, okay, until you see a total of 5 there. So if you have a longer chain, then the next part is the 6 again. So you skip a chain and then do your 6 groups of 2, and once you're at the other end, which I am now, you skip 1 and the final 3 will each be a double crochet. So 1 of 3, 2 of 3, oops, 2 of 3, and then the final stitch is you're going to have 2 as well, and that's 3 of 3. Okay, so this is the repeat pattern. So you're gonna turn your work again, chain 1, 1 single crochet across, and then when you come back you just do exactly what you just learned here with going up and down with doing your extras on the top. So your groups of 6 on the top, you do your condensing at the bottom with skipping 1 chain and just doing 5 standalone crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and you will have success each and every time. This is how you do the baby waves blanket. Good luck on this and enjoy this project, and until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.